welcome to Good Morning Anambra Tuesday edition. Today is 19th. Yeah, I got it today. I think yesterday I gave you a wrong date. So how are you? I'm glad you're already out, to join us to see exactly what we have packaged for you today. Yeah, my name is Ijoma, and my co-presenter is here with me.
Yes, my name is Ifi Onachuku. Good morning. I hope you're getting the cold like we are having it down here, Ijoma.
Yeah.
A bit of the cold.
It's quite rainy these days. I wonder what's going on. Very, very rainy. But it's okay.
And everybody is asking for the sun to come out. When the sun comes out, we'll now shout and say, please let the rains come in.
Oh, what the Bible said, there's time for everything. This is time for rain, so deal with it, okay? Just make sure you go out with your umbrella every day and then cover yourself very well. Cover the children as they go to school with the rain jackets and a whole lot of things to keep them warm. Do you understand? Yeah. Okay, welcome. Yeah, today, if possible, we are going to bring you newspaper review and then some topics that we're going to handle on our discussion segment. Of course, today's topic says fresh fuel price hike and the impending NLC strike. That's exactly what we're going to look at when we are done with the review of the newspaper. Do stand by now. Let's first of all start from our website this morning. The first story from our website said Bishop Amma celebrates birthday with church Thanksgiving, unveils book. It does appear it's birthday of the bishops this period. Okay, sensitization program on climate change, women empowerment ends in Achala. Teachers ask parents to encourage students, pupils to resume classes as schools reopen in Anambra. These and many more are the stories making the round from our website this morning, www.absradiotv.com. Ifi, Bishop celebration.
You know, the third, Bishop celebration. You know, I'm not a birthday person. Yes, normally I don't like celebrating birthdays, but the thing is that when you're on social media, when your birthday comes, people seem to, know about it more than you do. Before you realize that it was a birthday. So me, I'm not a birthday person. But then the bishop was observing his birthday with a book launch. I think it's monumental. It's historic, yes. It's always good for you to achieve one or two things each year in your life. It will help you to, mentor people, realize your objectives, and then make a change in society. So I can only say happy birthday, Oga Bishop.
Okay. And not just him, the other bishop that celebrated last week, I think it's Bishop Ezokafo.
Yes.
Okay, the bishops are born the same month. Okay, September is a big month anyway. Happy birthday, the bishops. Okay, yeah, you wanted to talk about
I was actually attracted by the sensitization on climate change. When you talk about how the climate change affects women, then you find out that women who are farmers are actually affected, negatively. So I think, the organization took the campaign to Achala, which is a rural area, which is a food-producing area, and that's a way of, sensitizing them, teaching them, giving them knowledge, educating them on how to manage the cropping season. When should you plant your crop? How will you know that the weather is not good for you to plant your crop? When will you do harvesting? How do you go and harvest your product? How do you evacuate it at the end of the day? These are the things that...
Especially with the flooding issue we're facing here.
Exactly.
Knowing when to plant so that you don't get caught up with the flood, and then when to harvest before the insertion of the
You remember at the beginning of this planting season that, there was no rain. Yeah. It started initially, and then at some point it stopped. Some people were, skeptical and said, "Why, what will be the output if I start planting now?" But those in the riverine areas, they know their topography, they know their environment, and they know when to start. And we all depend on them for our food. If they don't plant, then the whole world, the whole of Anambra, the whole of Nigeria will go hungry.
Yeah. And there's another thing that came in the what do you call it, sensitization about the climate change. The other day I was talking with the Commissioner for Education. He said that they are running different educational systems that place. That while others are on vacation,
there's IMLUM, you know, while others were on vacation, they were, you know, in school. They were in school. Yes, I have some friends there who actually were, you know, updating me on happenings there. Right now, people are going back to school, and they are at home because very soon they will be caught up by the flood. You know, flood as announced by NIMET and other environment control agencies. So I think it's a very good one. And for her to take that project to Achala, I mean, we need to encourage other NGOs to also emulate her and then go into the hinterland, because I'm sure she only did this at Achala. What about other riverine areas? What about other rural areas that actually need desensitization?
Okay. And then the last one there said teachers ask parents to encourage students, people to resume classes.
See, I remember when I was growing up, you know, on resumption date, every term, we don't normally want to go to school. You know, we don't normally, even when I started giving birth to children and they started school, I also tried to adopt that concept of not allowing my children to go to school on the first day of school. But then I then realized, first day of school is the day where you clean up the environment. Do you understand? You set your book, get your corner, you know, get
so
ready
you stay home. Who does that?
So yes, so at some point I said no. I had to. I made it sure that they were in school at the beginning of the term. And then one good thing is that the government has adopted this concept of giving
resumption test.
Yes, giving out tests on the first day. So if you miss out, if you miss it, you've missed out. That means it will affect your overall result at the end of the term.
It's a good one.
It's a good one, an encouragement that we should all adopt as parents.
Okay, okay. From here, we'll move to the papers. But before then, we're going to take a short break, very short break. And then we'll get back to you shortly, please.
Okay.
Great news for Anambra Broadcasting Service ABS audience. You can now watch ABS television through any of these ways.
Buy a terrestrial antenna and connect to your television. Search ABS Channel 24 Oka or ABS Channel 27 Onitsha. Install StarTimes cable decoder and search ABS Channel 113. Install Metro Digital cable decoder and search ABS Channel 29.
Watch ABS TV on your smart TV or smartphone by downloading Anambra Broadcasting Service app on Google Play Store. Also watch via ABS Facebook page at ABS Radio Television and ABS YouTube page at ABS Television Oka.
ABS TV is now also on satellite. You can watch us from anywhere in Nigeria and other African countries. Simply install ViewSat TV decoder or any other free-to-air decoder and tune into channel 0031.
Whichever option you choose, stay abreast of breaking news, documentaries, children's shows, talk shows, comedy, sports, movies, and lots more on your darling TV station.
For adverts and program sponsorship, contact 0803 388 8526 or 0806 883 9902. ABS, Heartbeat of the East.
On assumption of office, Mr. Governor Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo declared a state of emergency on roads in Anambra State. He has since turned the entire state into a construction site. Within 10 months in office, over 270 kilometers of road have been flagged off and contractors paid 30 to 50% upfront. More roads are also being constructed and they will be done with tax money. Please join hands with Mr. Governor to give us more smooth, slicky roads in Anambra State. Remember, better soup na money killer. Nnukwu ano kpata nnukwu nkwu, obele ano akpata obele nkwu. Please pay your tax as at when due. Maka Odemma, Anambra State. This message is from Anambra Broadcasting Service, ABS.
Keke, why junction drop?
Enter 2000.
Hey, wahala. Keke, I don't see where you carry me go London or now. Why junction here?
2000 because this is where I get my tax money from.
I don't be taxed. Who they pay tax?
I used to pay state government tax every month.
Hey.
You know they pay tax.
Wetin be tax, I beg?
Well, I used to pay state government tax every month. This money they pay me now, I will come on my tax money from. Because that tax what would they pay. And that money government they use, they develop our state so that our state will be like.
Still good morning, Anambra, and we're still looking at the papers to find out exactly what is trending. Before now, it was black and white. I was just trying to manage, but now it does appear they're going to sandwich me. Somebody has joined us. He is Osta Eze. Osta Eze is a public affairs analyst. Good morning, Osta.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. Good morning, Anambra.
2 against 1. But I will survive you guys this morning. Okay, we'll move.
Yes, right here we have some newspapers, National Star, the Delhi Times, Punch newspapers, Delhi Independent, This Day, The Nation, The Guardian, Delhi Trust and the Tribune to take a look at. So join us as we go through them to get some headlines out of them. Right here we have Delhi Sun. On Delhi Sun we have the screaming headline, Northern Senators grouse about Akpabio exposed. Aggrieved lawmakers say zone marginalizing federal appointments without Senate President doing anything to stop it. And then we also get down to some other headlines. Here we have parents, guardians lament hike in fees as schools resume. Osugopa. And then FIRS nets 8.5 trillion naira in 9 months. Banks unclaimed dividends hit 79 trillion naira. Enugu State government begins scaling of or sealing of illegal mining sites. And then we have this from Obasanjo. I stand by my position on Oyo Monarchs. Then gunmen hijack another Benue Links bus, abduct NTA staff, 10 others. Paris Club refund. FG asks court to stop 418 million naira payment to consultants. And then finally, from there we have NNPCL, 47 other firms, OFG, 8.265.5 billion naira, says a report. Then we can't go without reading this one out. It says, the governor, deputy fight gets messier. I was locked out at Government House, Shaibu. Then Obaseki says, you have no office there. Then strike, federal government, NLC meeting, deadlocked. So what's our price today?
Okay, let's look at some other papers before we start talking. New National Star. Emefiele forced to resign as CBN governor. Source. And then the writers there says, asked to resign as condition for acceptance of plea bargain. Emefiele to the discourse. Okay. No, not just what I'm just shouting at the first, first one, asked to resign as condition for acceptance of plea bargain. A lot of things are going on in this country. Emefiele to discuss some assets linked to him. Okay. Census 2023, NNPC ready as Nigerians await president's proclamation.
As NPC.
NPC, please. NNPC is a problem. That's why it's always on the lips. Lopsided appointments, Marik, Northern Youth disagree. Okay, does appear this government is going to be interesting. Okay, Daily Times. The Daily Times is our next paper. Move to impeach Senate President Akpabio rumbles on. With some writers there, Northern senators write by inability to check Tinubu's perceived urbanization of economy, the untold role of Northern big business owners, and then disco owners angry with him over failed 40% relief hike plan. Down here, 2024 Guba deputy governor locked out amid fresh mess in government's house. I think we really need to find out what's going on in Edo. I stand by my action on Royal Feathers. We've seen that story. 20 fear dead as Curtis clutch resurges in Shagamu, curfew imposed. Tinubu appoints 18 aides in vice president's office. Okay, federal government and NLC meeting ends in deadlock as we have seen that story. Okay, gentlemen, let's start talking now.
Yeah, let's start with northern senators and northern youths disagreeing with the appointments made by the president. Truth of the matter is, we already know how the country plays out their ethnic leanings. Whoever is in government would always want to appoint people from his or her own tribe. And this usually leads to this kind of disagreements amongst ethnic groups. And it shouldn't be so if we are really a country that wants to, develop. Because if we want to develop, we should enthrone meritocracy, ensure that whoever it is that takes up any responsibility in government is the person that is most qualified for it, who has proven himself beyond all reasonable doubt, regardless of the person's ethnic group or the person's religion. But you find out that ethnic group usually takes precedence over qualification and experience. And this is probably why this is happening. Of course, everybody knows that most names that have been coming up on some of the appointments made by the president are usually Yoruba names, all right? Besides the fact, so nobody is talking about Christian leaning or religious leaning or Islamic leaning anymore. Everybody is talking about the ethnic base of the person who is appointed. I was hoping that these northern senators and northern youths were going to accept these people that were appointed, because most of them are actually Muslims, regardless of the fact that they are
actually
Yoruba.
read somewhere yesterday where they were complaining about that they fought for Muslim tickets with the hope that they're going to dominate. And now the appointment is going Yoruba Christian appointment, not even Muslim is Christian. Yoruba Christian appointments is dominating now, that they are losing out in the whole thing. And I was just asking, I don't even think anybody's going to raise this kind of issue, because we knew what happened during the Buhari era, whereby everywhere is finalized, and then nobody, said anything. So why are you complaining?
The people affected kept, complaining about it. But the thing, my point remains that it wasn't supposed to be an issue in the first place. If we are really a country that is serious about moving ourselves out of this status, this economic status we are in now, we're already in a quagmire. It's very clear.
Are we?
Our economy, yes, now, our economy is in shambles. Our infrastructure is nothing to write home about. Our youths are jobless, either underemployed or unemployed. And the level of youth restiveness now has gone, has skyrocketed. We know what's happening in our communities right now, the level of theft that is going up right now, because many youths don't have anything meaningful to do. They are not gainfully engaged, all right? And they are going into stealing of different forms, all right? If the right people were placed in the right places, all right, without thinking of where is this person from, what religion does this person practice, then we will start getting things right.
Okay, let's look at okay, you wanted to say something?
Yes, when he was talking about hardship everywhere in Nigeria, just remember the bit that talked about parents and guardians lamenting over hiking school fees, and then talking about the deadlocked meeting between the federal government and the Labour. So what are Nigerians expecting? So when we have the labor, the labor force, incapacitated and taken out of job for, for some time because of strike. What kind of situation do we, expect to have?
Expect from the system. So the whole system is nothing to write home about. The whole system has been held at ransom right now, and nobody knows what to do to get things right. There's hike in fuel price, there's hike in school fees, everybody's going back to school. Now, most people's rent have been hiked too, all right? So, you see, this is... Yeah, and it's a vicious circle of poverty, and we know that there has to be an external force. There has to be something drastic that we need to do about our mindset, about how we approach some of these things. And one of the first things that we need to do is to enthrone meritocracy in government. And that is what I encourage our president, Tinubu, to do. Let him look beyond. He has seen that a Muslim or Christian is not the answer. Fulani or Fulani Yoruba or whatever. These things are not the answers to Nigeria's problem.
Okay, Osta, I was actually trying to, for us to look at how Akpabio, the Senate president, was roped into all this. Okay, he is not the one doing the appointment. It is the president. And then why rope him in that they're going to impeach him or whatever because that threat has been on that he refused to say something based on the kind of appointment. Is he the one to say?
That goes to
Has anybody raised the issue in the floor of the House and he shut them down?
But it's already clear that these people are not being sincere.
Oh, I know.
Okay, because most of these people that are appointed, they are ministers and other cabinet members. They are meant to be confirmed in the House, all right, in National Assembly. But when they come to National Assembly, most of them don't even get any serious probing. Most of them just get a nod of the head and they assume office.
Did anybody raise the issue on the floor? That's what I'm asking.
Nobody has raised the issue.
So why not it on the Senate president?
That's because money must have exchanged hands. And we already know that the Senate president is the candidate of the president. So it's more or less like a puppet for the president there.
Okay, you hit it.
At some point, the Senate president, there was a grouse over something, and he said that he had to consult the president.
You can imagine.
You know, and he sent shivers down the spines of Nigerians.
It didn't start with him. I mean, Lawan said that he is here to do the bidding of the presidency. Whatever they ask me to do, I do. So it's been the system, apart from the 9th Assembly, okay, or whatever. Okay, the 8th Assembly, the Sarakis.
I don't know why Son, had to bring back Paris Club refund. FG asked court to stop 418 million naira payments to consultants. You engage some people, and you signed a contract that you want to do something, and then after the job, you don't want to give them the money. But taking a look at the money that that you were meant to be paid, $480 million to consult.
It's outrageous.
It's outrageous. But then somebody signed it. So what do we do about this? Ask them to go to court, continue going to court.
Go to court. That's exactly what I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, that's what they want to do, to continue going to court and spending more money. But that's the Nigerian system. That is why we are where we are if he's our former vice president. That's what he will say. We don't want to be sincere about what our real problems are and about what we are supposed to do about them. And we expect things to change. Things cannot change. You can't keep doing the same thing and expect things to function differently. So what my call on the president and the Senate president and members of the Senate and members of House of Representatives, for them to really call a spade this time. All right? It is high time we started doing things right in Nigeria if we really want things to go right in this country. All right? If the president has some preferred persons to work in his cabinet and you people feel that these people are not qualified for one reason or the other, then you should check it before these people get fully absorbed into the system, and then the people will now start revolting as it is happening right now. Because this is one of the conditions that will have been checked. What would the ethnic origin of most of these people appointed be a problem when they are finally, when the appointments are confirmed? You understand? If it's going to be a problem, then they should now say, the members of lawmakers should now say, okay, because of this reason and that reason, these people should not be, the appointment should not be confirmed. Let's look for some other persons to balance up things so that it will not cause the kind of uproar that it is causing right now.
Let's see how it goes, because it left to me, I think I like what's going on. Okay, let's go to Edo and find out what's going on there. Edo.
The Deputy Governor. How lawful is that? How lawful is that act?
Well, the thing is, the Deputy Governor is actually supposed to, the Deputy Governor's powers are dependent on the Governor's powers. All right? It is the Governor that gives leave to the Deputy Governor to function. If the Governor is fully functional, the Deputy Governor is not really expected to do much. But that said, it's a legal position. The Deputy Governor position is a very legal position, and what that implies is that the Deputy Governor has right to access the government house just like the governor. So whatever be the grouse between, whatever be the fisticuff between the governor and the deputy governor, it should not lead the governor to take some of these extra judicial actions that he's taking. Okay,
but by the way, is there anywhere stated where the office of the deputy governor should be? I want to know. Is it in the Constitution? Because the governor said that you don't have an office here. So where does he supposed to have office?
Where else could he be? In his house?
Well, the thing is,
or is it in his village?
I'm expecting the deputy governor to sue. Because I know he has every basis to affirm his position as the.
What do you think is going on there? What is their problem?
I believe it's actually a personal vendetta that the governor is probably the deputy governor is not playing to his interest.
Okay, from what I read yesterday, I think they say that his fuse was because he went ahead to start that he's campaigning to replace him. Okay. Why perhaps the governor has a candidate he wants to, front. And then this person is usurping his position as a deputy governor, that kind of a thing. But I wonder, you are leaving after 8 years. Why will you tell us who is going to be the next governor? Don't I have the right to campaign to become a governor after being deputy? And a whole lot of things.
A sitting deputy governor start campaigning when what's it called? Campaigns have not started. Why would he? There was a time it happened in Anambra State.
People that
when a governor started amassing wealth because he was coming for second tenure, second term in office. Do you understand that? He wasn't doing any roles. He wasn't working. It was in the news that he had to start making money for second bid. What's the second term?
But it's the system,
which is wrong.
Is the system?
Is it right?
That's how they do it. Even those that just entered this year have started campaigning for second term.
And this is one of the reasons why I frown at the constitutional provisions that actually allows somebody who is still in office to contest for another office. Like you see somebody who is already a senator contesting for governorship. Like right now, we have certain persons who are appointed as ministers who are also senators. These are anomalies. Doesn't mean we don't have enough. We won't have millions, hundreds of millions of people in Nigeria that are qualified for some of these positions at the same time. More than us.
Okay. Punch, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Punch has most of the headlines that we saw in Sun, Daily Times, and others. So we can just go there and pick one or two headlines there. Up there we have Nigeria, that's the masthead. Nigeria servicing 108 World Bank loans worth $14 billion. That's from a report. And then no easy solution to Nigeria's economic problems, says US. The international body is talking about us now. Oil companies, agencies, owe federal government 9.8 billion naira revenue, says Naiti. And then down, we have drama. Okay, we've taken care of that. Obaseki and the deputy governor's drama. And then we have tension as 8 killed in Ogun community cult clashes. Finally, we have Obasanjo insists on stand-up order to monarchs. People are seeing Obasanjo's action as disrespect to the monarchy in Yoruba land.
We've always known Obasanjo as what's the word I will use now without sounding demeaning? A dictator of sorts. He has always been that kind of person whose kind of leadership is it's either my way or the wrong way. Okay, but the issue I want to actually raise here is the issue that was raised by the US government, I guess, that was saying there's no easy solution to Nigeria's economic problems. Why there's no easy solution to Nigeria's economic problems? Because the US, the UK, China and the rest of them are all contributory to our economic problems. I'm happy with the new governor of Enugu State who has started shutting down some illegal mining activities in the state. Are you aware that these mining activities are also going on in some other states? And they are going on unabated.
Started shutting down.
You understand? So I'm happy that some of these governors have started waking up to some of these illegalities from some of these foreign bodies going on in their states. And once this is one of the key ways we can actually start taking full control of our economy once more.
Like plotting civilian coup.
No, I'm not talking about plotting. I'm not talking about plotting coup here. I'm talking about, first of all, cutting off all forms of illegal mining. We have a lot of resources that can take care of most of these economic problems. But the problem is that we've allowed foreign bodies to come in and exploit these things, while a few members of the society gain from them. All right, at the expense of our economy. So one of the ways we can actually attend to our economic problems, Nigeria's economic problems, and make it less difficult, just as the US is saying, is by preventing the US and their cohorts from stealing from us, because they've been robbing us blind
And that's exactly what these francophone guys are doing.
Exactly, that's what they are doing, and that's the reason for some of these graphs that is going on over there, because these foreign bodies do not want to let go of their
mineral resources.
Yeah, their mineral resources.
I listened to one of them talking. He said that in Nigeria, in African countries, our curriculum will have the child trying to dissect, draw insects, draw lizards, things like that. While somewhere in Germany, they are teaching their children on how to mine, oil, how to mine solid minerals and all this. They don't even have it. So where would they go and practice? It's only in Africa where we have solid minerals and, and oil.
But I'm happy that we're beginning to wake up some of these things. And I'm happy that what that implies is that we are close to our salvation, because now realizing that, hey, we're the ones that are being, we're the ones that are actually victims here. We're the ones whose resources are being exploited.
Even the Bible says that the land shall not be sold forever. That one day it shall be redeemed back to the owner.
Exactly.
That's what we're seeing in francophone countries. Let's see how it will also translate to this side of the continent.
Yeah.
Okay, we have to get back to this national star to look at this story of Emefiele being forced to resign as CBN governor. And then the writer said, asked to resign as a condition for acceptance of plea bargain. So what exactly is going on?
Well, we've always known that in Nigeria, the higher your state or your social status, the more lenient the law will be on you. We saw the cases of some other persons who made away with huge amounts of money from the national coffers, and they were somewhere in foreign countries negotiating with the government how much they would return, and the law will let them be. All right, so this has been the practice. I believe that's what was playing now with Emefiele. He has to let go of some of his assets. He has to resign. That these are some of the conditions that is given so that his plea bargain for bail probably would be, hacking to by the court of law.
But the thing is that when you go for plea bargain, that means you already say you're guilty.
Yeah, of course. Now everybody knows
he has accepted his guilt.
Everybody knows he's guilty. They are just looking for an easy way out.
Actually, he worked with some people.
Definitely worked with some people.
He was actually taking directives from the president.
From people in power.
Didn't you hear what happened yesterday? That what's the name? The acting CBN guy refused to leave office, to vacate office for the new appointed CBN governor.
See?
Then hiding some files and then doing a whole lot of things. Just few months.
We are reporting it. We are reporting it in the media.
That's the kind of impunity that we condone in this
country. What is going on in this country?
We have just about 3 minutes to go on this show. So let's quickly get to maybe 1 or 2 papers and then we go. Yes. This one says, federal government must refrain from harassing, detaining opposition, Article 1.
Which paper is that?
That's Daily Independent. And then we also have the Edo thing is here. Federal government develops policy on patient safety, care, and quality. So...
yeah, that's actually a good policy if it's really implemented. The one on patient safety, care quality, because if you go to some of these government-owned establishments, health institutions, you'll be appalled at how patients are attended to, and even the wards of patients. A patient will be brought into emergency ward, and their wards will be expected to go there and pay so amount, or submit so form here, and time will be ticking away. Precious time that should be used to attend to, the sick. All right, it shouldn't be so. The ideal thing should be once a patient is brought in, the patient should be attended to before some of these paperwork will be attended to, or they'll be done simultaneously with the paperwork. So I believe this policy, when it sees the light of day and is implemented, is going to go a long way in salvaging our health sector, which is already in shambles. Somebody told me the other day that I should pray that I don't fall sick. Like terminally sick. If I fall terminally sick, I'll find out that the health insurance in Nigeria is
like seriously. When you get sick, okay, let's just roll out the big topics and then we'll go. Indefinite strike looms as NLC federal government stock ending deadlock. We didn't talk about that. I think okay, that's coming from this day paper. Adeyemo identifies 4 economic reforms priorities for Nigeria, they say. And then the Nation newspaper, Atiku Obi appeals, raise concern over Supreme Court cases. And that's from Nation newspaper. From Guardian now, Nigerians bear 1 trillion naira military burden as CBN, World Bank, backpedal. Okay, and then Daily Post, NNPCL, 12 others failed to remit $9.85 billion in 1 year. At Daily Trust place. And then finally, Nigerian Tribune, strike. NLC Miss Federal government says our ultimatum subsists. Okay.
Truth of the matter is, I have never seen where strike action has helped the common man.
Do we even have any need to talk about it?
Because we've not had listening government over
we don't have any need to talk about it.
The only thing that could happen is that the system gets shut down. A lot of people die. All right.
Some people get settled. The strike is called off.
And the strike is called off.
And they continue just like that. Let's look at our...
All right. So I encourage the NLC leadership to get wiser than this. Let them not allow this strike action to happen. They should look for other. See, you can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. They've been using this strike action formula for a very long time, and it hasn't really done them much good, or any good at all. All right. So can't they explore? These are learned people. All right. Can't they think outside the box and explore some other options in getting the government to attend to whatever it is the problem is? All right. Instead of shutting down the system, you can't say, okay, because probably things are not going well for you, you now close your eyes and sleep. You have to go out there and work. That's what, engaging in strike action is like. It's like closing your eyes to sleep when you're hungry. When you're hungry, you don't close your eyes and, wish for death. You go out there and do something about it. So NLC should be bold enough to start exploring some other creative ways of attending to their problem instead of just calling for a shutdown of the whole system. That's very lame. That would be very lazy of them.
Okay, I think that's where we're ending it today. It's still the same thing on Tribune. Almost all the headlines that we read in our papers are still in Tribune.
Apart from Nation's paper, you can now pick the papers and go through.
Yes,
okay.
Definitely. I'm concerned about the NTA staffer and 10 other passengers that were kidnapped in Benue. I thought video started becoming calm recently, but I think it started boiling again.
Yeah.
Where is safe now?
If we're talking about Benue, because they are the vulnerables, they are the ones out there, all right? And if we're talking about Benue, such a thing happening in Benue, let's understand that what that implies is that it's now getting closer to the southeast, all right? It's now getting closer to the southeast. So let's start taking this local.
What do you mean, kidnapping getting closer to the southeast? We have not been experiencing kidnapping.
We've been experiencing, but that kind of that type that we've known to be happening in the north, all right, that is not happening in Benue. We should not pray for it to come down here, because this type, that type has not happened here, whereby they will just stop a vehicle and kidnap everybody inside a vehicle. Such things, you don't find them. It's individuals they kidnap down here. But when they start kidnapping people like this in their droves, then that means we are really done for down here. So let's pray for such a thing not to happen down here. Let's really beef up on the powers we are giving to local vigilante to function better. I like what Newe is doing with their local vigilante, because right now you can explore most villages, most communities in Newe and environs now without fear of being waylaid. So let's really start doing expanding that in some other parts of the southeast, while we wait for the federal government to do the needful.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Osta Eze. Thank you for joining us today.
It's always my pleasure.
When you were late. Okay, thank you. That's how it's going to be today on Newspaper Review. That's press review from ABS, Anambra Broadcasting Service Television on Good Morning Anambra. My name is Ijoma, and I've been around with Ife
Onachugu. Yes, Ijoma will take you through the discussions with our guests in a jiffy. Thanks for joining us.